Hey there, everybody. I'm writer Brian Michael Bendis. Catch me today on DC Daily. Now, if I can only find my Legion flight ring.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to DC Daily. It is I, Sam the Hammer Humphries. Today is very special because we are welcoming comic book writer and artist Brian Michael Bendis to the show. He is one of my favorite, most dearest friends, so please keep that in mind as I roast him for the next 20 minutes. Brian, welcome back to the show. I didn't know that Deathstroke shaved his head.
Aha! It's the eye patch humor. Yes, I'm eye patching it. This is the debut eye patching for the public.
And your eye is underneath it, it's recovering, and you're all good. Everybody should know this.
I'm really just, in case we're headed towards an apocalypse, I feel little people like myself, like me, you have to have a look. I mean, we saw that in Waterworld. You know, like if you don't get a look going, they'll just eat you alive. So I'm just trying to workshop some looks out ahead of time. So when we ease into the Waterworld portion of this scenario,
That's right.
I'll be ready.
All right, dude. So everybody at home watching, hopefully you're all healthy and safe and staying at home. We are healthy and safe and staying at home. Brian, what has this whole experience been like for you? How are you doing?
We're okay. We've been through some harrowing experiences ourselves as a family, so we can handle this. And also, we're a family, as Sam is an uncle to my children, where we really like each other. So it's actually, we're having a really decent time and hanging out and doing projects and getting everything done. Really, one of the benefits of all this is just how much closer it's brought the readers and the creators together. It's been everyone's just stuck home alone with all of their books and movies and stuff, and they're just constantly reaching out and sharing their love of it, and it's kind of why we do it. So it's if I could be cup half full dude again, it's been kind of wonderful just to connect or reconnect with so many readers.
Yeah, it's amazing to see sort of the bonds that we built with readers and fans over the years, being so much more valuable than we ever thought right now.
Yeah, it really is amazing, and it really does make you oh yeah, this is what we all wanted. We wanted to connect with stories and share these characters and share our love of them. So yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know some of us here at home, we've been going through some long, dark bouts of introspection and self-discovery. Brian, what have you learned about yourself other than your pirate heritage?
Well, exactly. I must say, we knew this about ourselves, and not to take, this is not a lighthearted situation in any way, but a lot of us in comics discovered that according to what is now social norms, we've been quarantined since the 90s. This is
yes,
this isn't that far from my normal everyday lifestyle. And I may have been quarantined weeks before this started just because I was working on something. So I've learned everything I needed to know about myself alone in a room. But it's nice that everyone else is sharing it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I talked about this before in another episode, but one thing I didn't know about myself, I enjoy pickling vegetables. No lie, I had vegetables that were about to go bad, and I looked up how to pickle them, and now I am that dude. I think that might be worse than wearing a steampunk eye patch, so maybe you're okay. I know we've been talking back and forth, doing a lot of reading, digging back in our shelves, digging back in the crates. What classic DC stories have you been revisiting in a new light these days?
Well, also that's kind of been my lifestyle for the last 3 years since I got to DC. I've been since
you did a massive deep dive.
I did a ground level reread of everything. So that's where I've been living. So it's been fun to I'm up to Spanner's Galaxy. I'm really deep. I'm in the weeds. So but honestly, I'm right when this started. I had already started a massive Legion of Superheroes project that was one of the most ambitious things we've ever tried, and that has just consumed my every moment. It's a great story puzzle and project to be working on during all this, because it really is like a story puzzle in my head that has to be solved. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that because I've been diving deep into some old Legion of Superheroes. Remember this one? This classic Steve Lytle cover?
Nice.
And then I pulled this one recently. I'm very excited to have it.
Nice.
This is the issue where they resurrect Lightning Lad is one of my favorite DC comics of all time.
Well, another one of the best parts of this is people reading stuff they always meant to read, or oh yeah, so Legion is one of those things where like people will come and like, hey, where should I start? What should I do? And so I've been hitting them with the classics. It's always surprising how many people haven't read.
There we go.
Yeah, the Great Darkness Saga, which is genuinely one of the great DC stories of all time.
Oh yeah.
And following up with this just follows it right up. Yeah, you gotta have these.
All right, speaking of Legion, let's talk about your Legion. I remember when you were first like digging your fingers into this and wrapping your mind around it, and Superboy was a huge question mark, and Jonathan Kent was a huge problem, and the way you solved it was, I thought, so elegant. It was so neat. How did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, so some of it was when I signed on to DC, where this whole Superman family was in their story was such a gift, and some of it is stuff I know I would never even have gone down that road if it hadn't already started, but a few things were already laid out on the table, and it seemed, we could really get to a place where the John Kent story could become a real Superboy, Superman story and have some real like gravitas to it. And I like early on had pitched the idea that John would go on a time-spanning adventure that would allow him to grow up to Legion age, and at the same time give Superman something he rarely has. It's just something that he can't control, that he lost. Right? Like he loses out on raising his kid, and Superman never loses out on anything. So the idea of having Superman just being Superman, being the reason that something was, taken out of his hands, and then he has to deal with it, right? But it's a happy story because he doesn't get to help John through this tumultuous time in his life, but John gets through it. John becomes the Superboy that they all hoped he would be. People get very worried when they hear someone's aging up. But he aged up to be the man we all hoped he would be, and it's just in time for the Legion to show up and tell him, "Oh no, you are the reason we are doing this." And it was one of my first things I pitched at DC, and they went gaga for it. And I didn't realize that Legion had been off the table, quote unquote, for so long, other than the great Bugs Bunny Legion crossover. So no, I was jealous of it. I was. I was the Marvel. And you go, I got Bugs Bunny Legion. I go, I want Bugs Bunny Legion. So
that was such a gift. It was such a gift.
So the feeling, and plus you had Bugs Bunny. I have not been offered Bugs Bunny, and
well, not everyone can get it, Brian.
So this road that we're on was the road I started the minute I walked in the door, and I was so grateful that the Legion was going to be available, and that all the pieces were going to line up with Doomsday Clock, and we could just roll.
And the Superman part of it, I know that's been so central for you because fatherhood is so central to your life, right?
Yeah, and I know this is where you get into, like, some readers love this stuff and some readers are like, no, take anything away from anybody.
Right.
These characters have to grow and evolve and change, and Superman is a father now. That's a different lifestyle than mild-mannered reporter, split his day. This is someone with immense responsibilities personally and professionally. So we thought that putting Superman in that place where you learn, even Superman can't control everything, is an interesting story to tell, and how you deal with that. And I know for some it's unique to see Superman even contemplating or upset about something, but yeah, everyone does. It's interesting to see the best person being challenged. That's how you find out he's the best person.
All right, we recently celebrated Easter, but it's not too late to keep looking for Easter eggs, and Easter eggs is a massive Legion tradition.
100%.
What are some Easter eggs, some of your favorite Easter eggs that you have buried in this book for readers to find?
Someone literally Saturday night posted one that made me so happy. When I was first building Legion, Brad Meltzer, who we're friends with, reached out and said, "Psst, I connected Black Lightning's history to Lightning Lad in the Legion with this one panel, and no one ever picked up on it, but it's all there, and we were already headed towards a reinvention of Lightning Lad that would be perfect for." And I was like, "Thank you." And then, but I said, that never mention that until someone else mentions it, right? And
Yeah.
then Saturday night, one of our dearest readers said, "Hey, are you connecting this to this?" And I'm like, "Eh." So, and also
Of
it
course,
takes
it's gonna be Brad who gets it. That big nerd. We love him, but of course, it was Brad.
but I got to say, it's stuff like that I love, and it's the core of like one of the reasons I wanted to come to DC was to add to that. And so we have like about 6 more things like that coming, but that was like you need a few issues to drop them, and that was the first one.
You can't do them all at once. How do you think your team lineup compares to like the original team lineup, or I'll open it to any team lineups, like Volume 3, 5 years later? Like, how do you think your lineup compares?
I made it very clear. We're cherry picking. We went through the whole history of Legion, from, you can see the Silver Age stuff all the way to Mark Waid stuff and the recent 52, and really cherry picked everything we thought would serve a story today that would blow anyone's mind today. So you have everything from New Earth, which was from the 5 years later different story, to which was very controversial at the time. Blowing up the Earth was really upsetting to readers. And now today, right, if you tell the story, oh, the Earth didn't make it, our readers go, oh yeah, we knew it wasn't going to make it. But in the 80s, people were like, what do you mean we're not going to make it? So we cherry picked like the characters and the takes on characters and everything that we like, and then just added onto everyone. So I really look at ours as like almost like Ultimate Legion, like the best version of all the versions.
Yeah, because Legion, I think, is a lot like Green Lantern, because depending on when you came of age, your Legion is a different favorite Legion. But when we come up and we start writing, like, we can't service our own nostalgia. Like, we can't force
100%.
Our favorite Legion down everybody's throat. We have to try and come up with a new Legion lineup for a new era, or a new Green Lantern for a new era.
And for us, just so you know, it's actually hard for us sometimes not to lean into our like favorite thing, or just to imitate or do like a cover band version of our favorite thing. It's sometimes, and I was so grateful, like my first book ever was Daredevil, and your instinct to just imitate Frank Miller is so overwhelming, but you can't do it. Like, the reason you like Frank Miller is that he was his own thing and his own voice. So you have to do that with Legion. Like, I can't just imitate Giffen or Mark Waid. We have to bring our own energy to it. But in that energy comes certain things in the Legion that I really liked and always liked, which was, we're not going to introduce everybody right away. You got to lean in a little bit. We're going to drop you into the middle of a story, and you got to figure out who everybody is. And Legion always did that, to the delight and sometimes the frustration, but mostly the delight of readers. And so to do that on the modern stage is very cool. To see people just go, I don't know who everybody is, I love it. And then 4 issues later, everyone's name. Like, that's what Legion's about. It's like, we're gonna flip over all our cards, but not in the order you used to, and that's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Every Legion fan has had the experience of being like, who are these people? Where do they come from? What are their powers? And then you fall in love with them, and then you know all of them by heart.
Like, issue 5 was our turning over the cards. We were like, you're going to find out how the Legion got together, who they are, what the secret sauce is. And that came out just before this happened. It was so nice to get like the post. We're like, all right, I'm in. And that's exactly what the plan was. So
something I thought was really cool. You posted some of your Legion scripts onto your Instagram recently, and I noticed one note that you had to artist Ryan Sook, which you said, no retro. Why was it so important to you?
A couple things. Number one, retro can be death sometimes. For us, particularly in modern monthly comics, you could really kill a book with something that you really loved back when you were a kid, but that just does not speak any truth today. It just doesn't matter to anyone. And you have to really go back to like, what is Legion? What does it mean? Why are we telling the story? And then be as future forward as possible. And also we may work for someone who really had a fear of the retro and had been burned a few times. So that may have been also tasked to me. Like, hey, listen, can you do this without any retro? And I'm like, yes, we can. And I did. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that is every great run of any book I've ever loved has pushed forward in every direction. So it was cool to like task that to Ryan too. Then that's also puts an enormous pressure on Ryan to design new characters, and dozens of them, but they also should look like what we all know to be truly those characters. So they're reinvented, but at the same time, classic. And that's what he did. And I was so blown away by it. Like, even like
he really rose to the occasion, didn't he? He just killed it on every character. I've been a fan of Ryan's since he broke into comics, and we didn't know each other at all. We've never even seen each other in passing all these years. And literally, again, the minute I walked in the door, I'm like, is Ryan Sook busy? And because it just, sometimes for creators, there's like, you could just tell from their line weight, I bet we'd be friends. Like let's look like the turn of the pen. You go, I know you, and I know that sounds weird to people who don't do this for a living, but we've all experienced it, and it's You're
true.
Like I see that Giffen element. We would be friends. Yeah. We would be friends.
You're Michael Golden.
Yes.
So, and then we've discovered that it's almost always true. It's like a playground thing. You come up to someone with Pokemon cards and go, "You want to be my friend?" And that's literally how me and Ryan, like, we did one issue of Action Comics together. It went as well as I'd hoped in my heart anything would ever go. And then I literally called him up and said, do you want to do Legion of Superheroes with me? They're giving us a runway, like almost a year's worth of runway, which is almost unheard of in comics. And I didn't even realize what a gift it was until we were at the launch and went, wow, they gave us a whole year to line this up. That's amazing. Like, even movies don't get that. It really, and we needed it. Yeah. It's dozens and dozens of characters and a world that he's built. And even like the Legion headquarters was always like a 50 spaceship shoved into the ground. So we have to come up with a visual that speaks to how cool that looked in the 50s, but to this audience. And so that took a lot of time and work. And now we have this beautiful Ryan Sook universe to play with all the time, and I have to say it's tantamount to like going on one date with someone and then calling them up and go, would you like to have 34 babies with me and just be married to me? Because then you're like, you will be doing nothing but this for the duration. So it literally feels like you're just work marrying somebody after a date that went well.
Yeah. Well, I hope that means we get 34 issues of Ryan.
What we've done is we've stacked the deck on Legion, so every issue features the work of one of our peers, and so it's kept Ryan on track to do the main thrust of the series. But every time we leave to another planet, we take another artist's voice and add it to the mix. So that gives us more and more Ryan.
Amazing. So,
and we have a very special. Soon, we're not announcing today, but issues 8 and 9 of Legion of Superheroes is one of the most ambitious things DC has ever done.
Can we talk about it yet? We can't talk about it yet.
You know what it is, but
I know what it is.
It is.
It's so good.
It is. I'm so excited. No, they have a special marketing thing they're going to do, and you're going to dig it. But
I can't ruin it. But it's going to be one of the most epic, legendary sets of DC issues in history. It's going to be so incredible.
Very excited about it.
All right, let me make this about myself for a little bit. I want to know, if Harley Quinn went to the future and joined the Legion, what je ne sais quoi would she bring to the Legion?
Well, interestingly enough,
would she bring?
We have an issue of Young Justice coming up where Bart Allen actually trips into the future, and we meet Harley Quinn at a stage we have never met her before. And it's a very interesting little chapter. I'm not going to spoil, but I just got Scott Galuski's designs on a Harley we've never seen before. I'm excited to show it to you.
Oh, dude!
Look at that, shoving in a Young Justice plug right in the middle of it.
Wow, there you go. Never fails. Yep. You know what you're doing here.
But it literally just came in last night, so I actually have a Harley in the future on the runway. What are the odds?
That's so good. And Scott is great too. Scott's amazing to work with.
Someone I did not know before, and now I can't believe the work we're producing together. He is now the regular artist on Young Justice, and he's killing it.
That's such a good fit. We did one issue of Green Lanterns together. It was my last issue, and then I never saw him again. So you know me. The minute someone hands in anything, he came in and helped us on Young Justice, and he did something so mesmerizing with the page design. I'm like, him. Done. Yeah.
So and he helped us on Legion. Legion too was amazing.
Yeah. All right. So if you were to be trapped in quarantine with one member from the Legion, who would you pick?
Oh, Princess Projectra.
Okay.
Because then she's making illusions, and you're in 50 different places. You can do anything. You never feel like you're trapped.
All right. So she's like your own virtual reality.
Virtual reality, yeah. Look, I was
Yeah.
downstairs pretending I was Batman all night in the virtual reality. Not in my real life. I have an actual headset.
Yes. So you and I, we've been busy behind the scenes because we've been coming up with a new campaign, haven't we? A new campaign to help comic book stores out there.
Yeah, I when I say we, you and Cammie have been so Herculean in your efforts to get this rolling, and I've been helping, but you guys have been unbelievable.
It's been all of us. It's been a team effort. Gwen DeBon and Phil Jimenez too. We've all been working hard behind the scenes. We've got over 120 comic book creators who are auctioning off just the most incredible things on Twitter. If you're out there, if you want to get some cool stuff, really unique stuff behind the scenes, go to hashtag Creators for Comics. That's the letter 4, it's the number 4, not the spelled out 4. And there's some great things being auctioned, and all the money goes directly to help comic book stores and indie booksellers.
So here's the deal: the creator's going to put up the auction. They're all pulling personal archives. Everyone's got something different, and some people are doing by request things. I'm going to be doing some by request stuff, and so the creator hosts the auction. Then you show the creator you made the donation. They send it directly to you. So not only do you get to be part of this, but you get like a little interaction with your favorite creators for a good cause. And also, you know what? We were just, there's a lot of us were sitting here going, what do we do? How do we help? How do we actually help? And we were calling stores and helping where we could there, but it didn't feel like enough. It felt like we should do something broader. And I honestly couldn't even wrap my head around what can we do? I loved what Jim just starts drawing.
Yeah.
Jim Lee just sits down and starts power drawing. I'm like, okay, what do we do? That's covered. So what do we do? What can we help? And this allows us to do some smaller auctions and bigger auctions and more personal stuff, and opens the doors to literally anybody in comics who wants to be part of this. So
yes, anyone can join in and do their own auction.
Yeah.
Yes, we need your help, all of you out there, because the stores have supported us for years, and now it's time for us to step up and support the stores. So definitely go check out.
You and I both worked at stores. We both have history with doing it. So
absolutely. Well, I never worked at a store, but I was a regular at Meltdown, and I was on their podcast for years. So it was almost like I worked there.
There you go. So, but I used to work in a.
We all have comic book stores that in our hearts, whether the ones that we grow up with or the ones that we see now. So
yeah.
It's something that we all know that we have to save. They're the bedrock of our industry. So it's been amazing seeing this whole campaign come together. Everybody's got to check it out. Okay, before we sign off, Brian, what do you want to say to everybody at home watching right now? Everybody is hunkered down, riding out the storm. What do you want to say to them?
You know what? If I can be a cup half full situation, not only is this a great opportunity for you to visit stories and worlds in the comics that you've never visited before, and I do recommend that. What a great opportunity to go. What's 5 things I've never seen or read before that I've always meant to. Do them. When there's so many cool lists of books out there. I have one on IGN. Tom King has one. You could just for examples. But I also want to offer that some of the greatest works of art, most honest works of art, came from times like this. I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be comics, music, film, whatever you can do alone in your room. You should try it, even if you're like. Not me. You should try it. This is almost like a gift. You have no more excuses now. It's just you alone in a room. Who are you and what do you have to say? What a great opportunity to just try.
No one's watching.
My daughter's upstairs teaching herself watercolor painting, and she's literally just teaching herself how to do it. It's amazing. So it just inspired me to think, we could all just figure out who we are as artists and creators and get closer to each other. It really, Sam and I experience this every day. All it does is bring the world closer to you. You put your work out there, and your work comes back in such a beautiful way. So that's what I if I could make one weird thing draw something for yourself, write something for yourself, surprise and delight yourself. And also, if you read a book or you read one of my comics and said, you know what, I wish Bendis would have done with that, then go do that. Go make one. That's always what inspired us. Like, I wanted someone to do this. No one. That's where Powers came from. I wanted to read it, right? So we made it. So, and that's where most of comics come from. And I just wanted to say, you can do this too.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you will have a comic book. You will have made a comic. You will be a comic book creator, and no one can take that away from you for the rest of your life and after you die. So even if you think it sucks, even if you feel terrible about it, you once made a comic, and that's an amazing thing to do. All right, pal, thank you for logging on with me. This is great. I haven't seen you in so long, so this was really a lot of fun.
I miss you, Sam.
I miss you too, man.
And it's so weird to talk to you this way.
I know.
But we'll get through. I'll see you in the studio.
Exactly. And as soon as this virus is done, I'm coming up and we're going to play PlayStation all night.
Yes.
I'm going to play Lego Batman with London. I'm going to hang with all the kids. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, London's gotten good, by the way. That's what's happened during the quarantine.
I cannot keep up.
DC Lego Villains is our jam. We are there all day.
Yes.
100%. Yeah, if you want to know where most of my villain choices are coming from in Superman and in Legion.
Because you see London play it out.
Yeah, a lot of research.
The drama.
Research and development going on the PlayStation. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's been particularly fun because I feel like I'm Orlando Bloom and you're about to throw me a sword across the deck of a ship. But really, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Everybody else out there, if you haven't read Legion of Superheroes yet, you gotta go do it. It is the perfect quarantine deep dive read. It is one of my favorite comics of all time.
Young Justice, Superman, Action Comics.
That's right. I wonder who wrote all those. I can't even figure it out. The mind boggles. Everyone out there, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and we will see you next time. Love y'all.